Let me just get the backup recording machine running. Yeah, get into this. Okay. Okay, people. I will share the screen here. And so I've got the slideshow. Hopefully that'll come up. Where is it? There it is. There it is. Okay. All right. All right. So welcome to a soul contract reading webinar. I'm Nicolas, David Mann of the Center for Conscious Ascension. This is just a little formal bit we do for the YouTubers. Okay, guys, watch it later, then we can relax. Okay. Raj, if you get the video on, that'd be great, and I can stay connected with you. But it's up to you. Thanks. All right, because otherwise I'm speaking to the void. It's much harder speaking to the void because this is more discussion. This whole thing. So, have you noticed how people turn away from the biggest karmic challenges they face in their lives? No matter how hard they've tried, as though just too painful for them to face, as they lack the spiritual map of life of how to overcome them. This free live webinar is how you can help others identify these core patterns and how to go about transmuting them so they can deliver their gift of service to the world, that special thing they've been looking for their entire life. So like the Holy Grail for light workers like us. So now we just relax into this. I want to find out why you guys are here. Well, I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm here because I have a great passion for this work, having had a reading back in 1990 from its founder, Frank Alpa, who I was 30 years old at that time, completely lost at the beginning of my spiritual journey. And in 1 hour, he gave me a reading when I was at a workshop with him in Phoenix, Arizona, and explained my entire life. And he said I was going to be a spiritual teacher, and here we are, 36 years later, doing that. And so it focused me on what was really important, and my life has been a lot more aligned and fulfilled, not without its karmic, challenges, but it's a much better life than I would have had otherwise, because I had no clue what was going on. So I thought I need to share this with others. So I stayed on for the second workshop with him 6 weeks later. This is about January, February 1990, to learn how to do the soul contract work. So it's been my greatest passion to develop and share this in the world. Okay, so someone else is here. Okay. Brigitte, welcome. There's a few more. So you guys, Brigitte and Moria, if you'd like to join us in the main, you're in the attendees room. If you'd like to join us in the main room, just say yes to being a panelist, which means you can switch the video on and chat to us, only if you want to. Purely voluntary. Little pop-up just came just then. Or if you want to stay in the attendee room, you can just switch your mic on and talk to us. All right, or just message me. Message us from the chat. I'll read that out. Whatever's comfortable for you guys. All right. So, why are you guys here? Just like to sort of hear what brought you here and what you need from this, because we shape the webinars around what you guys need. Okay, it varies a lot depending on what you want. Okay, so who would like to go first? Helene.
Well, I can share if you want. So maybe others will follow. Well, I actually met Rihanna Said, who's offering that work. And I was venting about my manager, saying that this relationship was not working and, whatever. And she just mentioned, well, we could check if how you relate based on those numbers. So I actually had received a reading and also a clearing, and my manager agreed to receive a reading too, and we could see where we were clashing. It helped me a lot. I'm not sure it helped my manager, but it helped me a lot to see, okay, I wasn't dreaming, some stuff was happening, and feeling the numbers is very special. I mean, I cleared my father and my mother too in relationship with me. And it's very strange how you can feel the same numbers very differently, depending on with whom you work you work with, and so I would like to feel them more. I think my main curiosity is about to feel it, to really understand it more in my body and my energy than just intellectually.
Okay. Well, this is what the work is about when we go from the book or Gaia or just a reading to actually learning how to do this work. I think you've enrolled in the training, haven't you? I remember. Is that right, Ellie?
Sorry?
You've enrolled on the training, I think, haven't you? Have you enrolled on the training? Have you enrolled on the
Sorry, I don't understand.
Have you enrolled on the soul contract reading
Yeah,
training?
yes, I enrolled. Sorry, I wasn't, because it's my window is open. Yes, I registered. Yeah,
yeah.
I did.
So we move from left brain understanding of this to becoming the work. It's night and day. You'll sit in the feeling of the energies for 3 days, or 5, or actually 3 days, 6 days, but 5 days. First 3 days is where you'll sit in each of the 22 numbers, and it'll activate in you. You'll become it. So you'll definitely get that. And then once you sit in the field of it, what happens is that your other classmates will talk about each different aspect. We select all the 22 numbers. We distribute the 22 numbers over the whole class. So each person talks about their direct subjective experience of the numbers. And then from there, you become it and you never forget. So you'll definitely get the feeling. So that's what the training will do.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, so you become it.
Thank you.
And then we teach you how to take that embodied activation transmission and then how to channel that, how to, in a structured way, to help people feel who they truly are. It's sort of a very quick summary of the training. Okay, so you're in for a treat. So,
yeah, thank you. Well, I'm sure I will.
Yeah. So
I'm sure of my decision.
Helene, where are you based?
In Brussels.
Brussels, okay. All right. Okay, who's next? Who else wants to share? Raj. Raj, you've just done the training, so.
I have. Nice to see you again, Nicolas. So I just completed the last soul contract level 1 training, which was a few weeks ago. And I'm sure, like most of you that are here, were absolutely blown away if you've had a soul contract reading. I want to become a practitioner. I want to spread the word, and karma is such a key thing. And I wanted to do this webinar because I think it will just help me help others better. Okay. So that's and myself actually as well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, what the structure of this webinar you can use for marketing your readings, except instead of marketing and training, you market the reading, but the principle is the same. Okay, when we do this, all right? Okay, so Belinda, another brave soul, showed herself. What brought you here, and where are you from?
I'm based in the UK.
Yeah.
And I have been interested in learning this for quite some time. However, and I know like a smidgen of a little, I've got a 6 dominant thing. So, and I've got lots of interests, and I've learned that I think that's one thing you told me, is I have attended one of your seminars before.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn to concentrate on no more than 3 kind of interests at a time, 2, 3. I've been trying to listen to that, and I've just finished 2 other healing courses. This is on my radar as my next one.
Okay.
That I would love to do, because I'm really, really interested in this. However, I need to give myself a little bit of time, because I'm also starting to my own healing business, and I'm wanting to incorporate this as well. I think it would just from my curiosity. I love learning. I love discovering things. And it will probably enhance my spiritual life as well, which is very key for me. And Helena mentioned something about clearing. I didn't know that you could do clearing with these soul contracts. I thought that it was just a reading, and I know you change your name, you change your game kind of thing, as well, which is also what I'd like to learn. How your future name impacts on your birth name, etc., and how to optimize your name. I didn't know about the clearing, so that's of interest. If you can explain a bit more, I'd appreciate that. So
Okay, well,
that's
by clearing, what the system basically, we teach you how to specific targeted recommendations for clearing the programs, the karmic programs you face in the contract. Very targeted ways of working through them. It's an integral part of the system. So we teach you what it means. We teach you how to find out where a client is, and then how to laser focus specific processes so that they can actually work it through. Okay, because once you've opened up someone's karmic can of worms, they say, well, what do I do now, Bill? And they say, well, here's how you scoop it all out. And we teach you how to do all that sort of stuff. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So
well, that's where a lot of my focus is at the moment as well. So
yeah,
on doing something. So this would be a lovely addition.
Yeah. So in terms of integrating into an existing or starting the spiritual practice, what the practitioners find who've already been established and are out there running a business is it provides the core framework, the core causal framework that creates everything that is presenting to you as a practitioner from the client you're going right back to the soul. What's manifesting in your client's reality? Because when you understand the core program behind it, you can go right for that program and not get lost in the ego's illusions and defense systems, and get right to the point and dismantle their programs much faster. Okay. And applying your own healing tools. Because once you understand what this work does, you say, well, that bit of the other work I do could apply to this one. And then that piece over there can do that. And so it refocuses around, rather than playing more at the surface level of the ego, this thing goes right to the core of what is the learning experience that this client wants to go through, and how can I facilitate them to work it through as gracefully as possible with the tools I have. Okay, so, and also when you transmit, because it's like a cosmic transmission, this work, it's where your higher self and the client's higher self are meet, and at a very specific time in their growth, because people come for two reasons. They're in great karmic distress and pain, and or they want clarity on their soul purpose. Okay, and that we teach you how to hold the space to work out exactly where they are on their spiritual map of life. How far have they progressed through their soul contract? Because the soul contract is a latent potential laid out. There's no time component. You're only going to find out how they progress through it once you talk to them. Okay, and then you can laser focus your tools. Say, okay, you're here. Here's how you take the next step, which is what people want. Dig them out of the karmic mire, and you can move forward. So it empowers people, because sharing the truth of it dismantles half of the grip the ego has over somebody, because the truth comes out, which ego is trying to avoid at all costs. Because once someone knows what's going on, they're conscious. It can't play its old games, because your client knows, I know exactly what's going on now with this pattern, and I know what to do. So the ego's on the back foot. Okay, and the ego's only there to keep us separate from God and consciousness, to see if we can get back to God. And this gives you a very fast track way of doing it. And each person has a unique soul contract, mostly. And this shows you how to navigate through the dissolution of the ego and working through the lessons of it the soul wants to go through to get back to God. Okay. So once a client realizes that you know what's going on exactly, and they know what's going on, they're going to come and want to work with you, because, okay, let's stop messing around, Bill, and let's get on with it. And because what it does is it generates repeat business. So you can take someone on a journey navigating with the soul contract to get them back to God, to get them to a more peaceful, aligned, soul-aligned, fulfilled life, which most human beings never have. They can be part of the, I don't know, 1% or less of humans who are aligned and love what they do in terms of what they are, how they express themselves in the world, and they get fulfillment out of each day, which most people never get. Gallup did a poll quite a while back, and they said 90% of people are emotionally disconnected from their work, which is a pretty shocking figure, which means most people hate what they do. Whereas this work is the other approach, which is, okay, be part of the 10% who love what they do. And there's a way to get there. Okay. How does that sound as an offering?
Sounds wonderful. It's how my whole life has been. If I don't love what I do, I'm not going to do it.
Well, yeah, it's only half a life. Just paying the mortgage. I mean, I used to get in a suit and commute on the tube into London and work in the city, and I left that nearly 30 years ago, and I work from home. I teach practitioners. I love what I do now. Whereas, and it's about helping people become sovereign and aligned to this true soul purpose. And not many human beings get that opportunity, and people just do the job because they've got a mortgage or kids, got to pay for education, and they just suffer. I call them the grey people on commuting because they've just given up. A lot of people, they're trapped. But this is the means of escaping from the matrix of the way the system is set up. Because when you become soul aligned, what happens is the universe comes to you because you're aligned with spirit, part of us not embodied, your higher consciousness, and it will provide the resources and opportunities to live a much more fulfilling life, which is what the gift of this work is about. You've got to do some work though. You got to work through your karmic stuff. It's not as if you just flick from one to the other. It's actually a harder path initially, but it's a much more fulfilling path long term. Okay.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else want to chat? Let's have a look here. We'll go up. Brigitte, do you want to say anything? Do you want to introduce yourself, or put it in the chat, or you can switch the audio and video on if you want to. But don't have to if you don't want. No. We have Bergen. Do you want to introduce yourself? You can switch the sound on if you want, or put it in the chat. Let me just switch it on here. You can actually switch. You can be in the chat now if you want, Bergen. No? Okay, we'll continue. All right. If you change your mind, let me know. Okay, so let us share. Let's move on. So, okay. Back to my presentation. We know why we're here now. Okay, good. So, I'm going to talk about some core principles because I'm assuming some people watching this won't have coming to this for the first time. So, core principle with this work is that our karma contains our spiritual gift of service. Now that may sound very strange, but it is true, and I'll explain why. And we as light workers are looking for, what is my gift? What am I here to do? In the last place, intuitively we wouldn't think this would be. It's counterintuitive to think our karma contains our gift of service, but I'll explain. So our karmic pattern is basically, we have the law of attraction initially, and our karmic patterns create all the stuff we don't like in life. As you might have noticed, some pretty heavy stuff happens when you were younger. So we find out all the stuff we don't like in life, okay? And the law of opposites works with the law of attraction. It creates all the bad stuff, the stuff you're not told about, okay? They talk about in the movie The Secret from the 80s or 90s, if you focus on what you want, the good stuff will come. They don't talk about the law of opposites, where the karmic stuff will come first. And the idea is that all the law of opposites brings up all our karma, not to punish us, but to see if we can bring consciousness to it and transmute it into the positive energy, the opposite frequency. Okay. And as if we can do that, for example, if you had a karmic pattern of a 9, great disempowerment, you're going to get a lot of abuse when you're younger. Okay, and you're thinking, oh my God, the universe is doing me in, it's come to punish me. Okay, you can feel like that, and we can take on the role of being a victim, feel like the world's done us in, all that sort of stuff. Or we can say, okay, if you give someone a reading, we'd say to them, the point of this is to overcome it, to transmute all this disempowerment, which comes from past lives, especially, and come into our power. And the gift of service to come into a place of empowerment. Okay, and because we go from this negative state of disempowerment, there's always journeys of polarity on Earth. There's a positive state, which most people don't understand. The positive state of empowerment, so EP for empowerment, and D for disempowerment. The soul wants to have the feeling, visceral journey of being in this earth suit. Because when we're embodied, the emotional impact on the soul is much greater than when we're not embodied, which is why we come. We learn faster. So your job is to show your client this journey. Say, you're not a victim, you're not stuck. You can take them one step here. And here's how we do it. What we do with the soul contract work, to the point where they're going to get to one day, get to the place of being empowered. And because they've had to really work for it and felt, gradually totally disempowered, a little bit of empowerment, a little bit more, they're setting boundaries, they're holding the line, claiming their power. As they do that, the journey here is what the whole point of this is about. It's how you navigate each of these patterns, each of the 7 aspects in your soul contract, especially the physical and spiritual karma. And that's how you get your gift of service. That's how you get the good stuff. So like I've had 30 odd years of working on this 9, my spiritual karma, and I'm much more in my power. In physical karma, I've got a 3, which is unworthiness to be loved. And gradually overcoming that, it's enabled me to become the spiritual teacher that I am. And it wasn't like that initially. It took me a long time to go from being shy to being really communicative and expressive. But I've had to earn that. Okay, that's the karmic 3, and this is the karmic 9. And so I value it enormously because of the journey I've had to take to get there. Good. And feel free to ask questions at any time. Just put your hand up, the electronic hand, or then a few of you just put up the wave at me. Okay. So if you're thinking about training as a soul contract reader, the training will enable you to decode the secrets of the blueprint of life. The spiritual seekers, which is a few percent of the population, there's plenty of them out there lost trying to find their way, from the sounds of their birth name, which creates the reality in each moment, because the energies of the 22 numbers of Hebrew, sounds of Hebrew, depending on the name that someone's chosen, they are programmed into your DNA, your subtle bodies, and into a substance called karmic matrix, which is like, a grey cobwebby substance that sits in the fields at the 4th, 1st, and 6th dimensional level, and it radiates out to the matrix and creates what we call a holographic matrix, a bubble of subjective experience. And what you're understanding here is the program of what is that bubble of experience all about, what's going on in there. And the soul contract, we call it the spiritual map of life. When they have that from you, it means you empowers them to first understand and then overcome their karma, give specific recommendations, express more of their talents, achieve more of their goals or dreams. And if they can work on all this stuff here, eventually manifest their soul and life purpose, which leads to a lot of satisfaction. So they have a map, the lights have gone on in their life. Most people are like in a car, driving at night, with the lights off, without a sat nav. So they keep crashing into things. But what we're doing with this, you don't know where they're going. What we're doing here is we're switching on the sat nav, switching on the headlights, and setting a destination, which is the soul life purpose, so people can get on with life. Okay, so it's night and day. Okay, with a reading. So how does it work? when we come to the earth plane, we have to come in with a certain set of frequencies to create our reality. And we use the Star of David to actually decode those frequencies. So we have in the Star of David a downward pointing triangle, which represents the physical side of life. Because every time we come here, our soul is eternal, but our personality, our ego personality, is brand new every lifetime. Okay? So we have to learn to walk and talk, get conditioned responses, relationships, careers, education, get up and running in life. So we spend the first 5 cycles of 7 years, 35 years, or less nowadays, focused on that in the physical triangle. And between 35 and 42, the 6th cycle of life, we shift. So the predominance, they're both running at the same time, moves to the spiritual mission. And this is where people have midlife crises, dark night of the soul. They have a major crisis. How many of you guys have had a major crisis around that time when you really woke up and realized life had to change? Yeah. Because the soul's saying, wakey, 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 we're going to go do the real mission. And it's hoping you worked enough on the physical triangle to be able to, so it's grounded so it can build the spiritual mission on top of that. So within each of these big triangles, there's 3 aspects. There's karma, or physical karma in this case, physical talents, which are latent, but as they activate, it helps you overcome the physical karma. And as the talents get stronger, it helps you achieve the physical goals. So the energy flows from physical karma to talents to goals. And here, spiritual karma is how do we disconnect from higher consciousness? Because this is the source of the mission as it activates. Okay, and the latent spiritual talents, they help overcome that if it's a good fit. We overcome the spiritual karma, it becomes spiritual gifts. That gift starts to embody, we deliver it to the world. Talents get stronger as a result because they're being used, and that moves us to the spiritual goals. What are our real dreams here? My spiritual goals are 4 4s. I like sharing this knowledge. Okay. So the energy moves from spiritual karma to spiritual talents, spiritual goals. Okay. And then if we consciously work on these 6 aspects, outer aspects, because we know what they are with the reading, and over time, it's percentage complete. Most people go like this. It's a very slow progress over time. When someone has the spiritual map of life, they're going more like that, much faster. And as because they know what to work on. They know what's creating their reality, and they know what to work on to work through the patterns. If you consciously work on all the 6 aspects on the outside of the triangle, on Star of David, you start to manifest, they start to contribute towards the manifestation of the soul destiny or the soul purpose. So that starts to appear layer by layer. The real reason for being here starts to appear. And as you progressively over time work on these consciously, deeper and more profound layers are revealed to the personality. So the whole mission is not revealed initially at all. We only see what we're ready to cope with. Okay? Excuse me. So your job, if you become a practitioner, is to hold the space so people can work through all these aspects and achieve a deeper and deeper layers of soul destiny with the reading you give them. And that leads to a very fulfilling, satisfying life. Okay? Let's find out how this works. Okay. Who would like a taster reading? A brief reading? I'd like to volunteer for that. Okay, Belinda. Okay. Have we done this before with you? I can't remember. Don't think we have we?
Yeah, a small taste enough for me to discover that my dominant number was 6. So
okay, so
that was all.
The reason I'm asking is because you'll be on the system. So I need to stop sharing for briefly and I'll find you on the system. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, what's your surname, Belinda?
You have it as Weinman, WEINMANN. My surname now is Pountney.
Yeah, okay, I've got the right one. It's okay. So don't want to show someone else's chat, which isn't you. Okay. So what we've got here is a soul contract reader.com software, which gives you 4 free charts. If you guys who are watching this want to generate your own chart. And all you got to do is sign up, okay, for it, for your 4 free charts. And there's a small charge you want to do additional charts, okay. What we've done here is that I'll show you how we entered all Belinda's information here. This is Belinda's current name. This is the birth certificate name. The chart set ID is based upon her current name. We didn't put a birthday in because this is a public video. She gave consent for this to be done here. Okay, and so we entered all the data, and this is going to automatically create the chart for her as follows. So I'll explain how that works. So what it does is we use 22 sounds of Hebrew to match the sounds in Belinda's name. Okay, and in Hebrew, numbers and letters have the same sound, okay, and same symbol, which is unusual for a numerology system. Normally, in say conventional Pythagorean numerology, numbers are allocated to the Roman alphabet. In this case, numbers are inherent within it. This is a completely different system. So these are the Hebrew sounds which match Belinda's name. These are the Hebrew numbers which are extracted out of it. So what I do is I take, say, the first 6 numbers, and I start at physical karma, and I allocate them either 2, then there's a 5, then there's a 12, okay, there's a 10, 14, and 4. And then I keep going round in a clockwise spiral till we use them all up. And then what we do is that we add up the numbers. The total of physical karma is 29. Soul of Moses channeled to Frank Harper, the meaning of the numbers for a period of 9 months. And so 2 plus, it has to be less than 22 to have meaning. So to do that, we reduce the 29, go 2 plus 9 equals 11. Left-hand number. Excuse me, 1 plus 1 is 2. Comes the right-hand number. So we have what we call an 11-2 there. And there's meaning, 11 has a meaning, 2 has a meaning. And in spiritual karma, the total is 52. That's greater than 22. So we have to go 5 plus 2 equals 7. Because 7 is a single digit number, 7 plus nothing is another 7. So we get 1 frequency of a 7. With 11-2, we have a range of frequencies. These just English numbers to match Hebrew frequencies. Okay. So here, this is called a combination number. So it ranges from a pure 11 to a pure 2. 7 is basically a double number, 1 frequency. Okay. Figure out all the other numbers accordingly. Then we take the physical numbers, place them on the top half of this table. Spiritual numbers on the bottom half. We add them up. We get a 49 and a 31. So we have to reduce this to the first number between 1 and 22 to get any meaning. So 4 plus 9 is 13. 3 plus 1 is 4. Has to be a single digit number. So the soul destiny goes in the middle here. Okay. And this is the dominant vibration 6, which is what Belinda was talking about, because she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 or more of the same number. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give Belinda a little brief reading of this so you can see how this works. So this time, Belinda, what's your question? what's the big question this time around? A year later, okay, you have about your life.
Well, I'm attempting to start a business. One of my drawbacks, which I am slowly overcoming, is the fact that I don't really like to be in the public eye, but you kind of have to when you're a healer. So
it sort of helps, doesn't
it? Yes. So I'm working on that, and yeah, I'm finding my voice a little bit more, and not as scared to verbalize now. I mean, I've always preferred to be in the background, but I'm slowly overcoming that.
Okay.
So I guess, how soon can I get going?
Okay. All right. So we need to look at, well, what number is creating wanting to hide away? What's this one? It's a 7 in spiritual karma. Normally we go through physical karma, talents and goals, and spiritual karma, talents and goals. But I'll talk about the one that matters because you've asked a very specific question. The symbol of 7 is what we call a link which unites. There's a part of you, is an emotional inner child, quite young, a few years old, who had a deep heart wound as a child and is scared of being seen and being rejected and feeling bad again, or being seen as bad. So she hides away and she puts out a facade to the world here. Say, look at this. This is my mask. This is my protection. But don't look at the real me. Does that sound familiar? So she's hiding away. It's not safe to be out in the world. Okay? So do you know what created that sense of not feeling safe as a child? What happened as a kid with your parents, for example, school or?
Yeah, my mother has like vicious, violent, narcissistic type outbursts, very manipulative, and I I was always I was always punished for things I didn't do. Yeah, I mean, I've got compassion for my mum because of her life and everything else, but
Yeah.
it still her temper negatively impacted me. I got hidings all the time for nothing, just because she was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is your mother here. 13 is the divine feminine aspect of God. Okay. And in this case here, this is where this is telling you 213 falls are telling you didn't get appropriate mothering from your mother. There was inappropriate mothering. You weren't getting the love of the mother. You were getting the opposite of it. Okay. Which created the heart wound. Okay. So this would have resulted in a stone wall going up to protect your heart from your narcissistic mother. This indicates she's a narcissist. She was potentially a narcissist here, not enough love. She was very self-involved. Okay. So healing the wound with your mother inside you is the key to feeling safe. And this 11 too, 11 is very sensitive. This absorbs all sorts of influences from the world. This is the malabsorption of all the abuse you went through as a kid. So it's about clearing the trauma of all that abuse and getting it out of this 11 and finding the true structure of who you are and overcoming the shock. This is a little spring. Draw a better one over here. So the little spring got squashed down to so it's like this. Okay, by all the shock. So getting the trauma out of here, looking at doing goddess work on healing the wound with your mother are the two key things. And once you work on those things, gradually the inner child will heal. She will drop the facade. She'll start to show her true self to the world. and she'll magnetize people to you for your work. Okay. So your mother's like the trigger number here. Okay. Okay. This wing with the mother. And this is something you chose. Helene, good question.
Yes, I see the two numbers representing the mother.
Yep.
But why would you say that's what you need to work on to feel safe? Because it's a soul destiny or because it's a physical goal?
I'm looking for the cause of the heart wound. It's going to be apparent. And this is the mother is the only one present in this chart, not the father. Okay. Or it could be a disempowering number like a 9 or a 10-1 or a 5. They're the major ones.
Because actually I have a 9. I have the same soul destiny, and my mother was quite the same when you describe it like that in 5 seconds. Well,
yeah, well, it will be.
I thought, okay,
it will be. You have the same archetypal experience, yes. Yeah. So
okay. So you mean that the soul destiny somehow resonates with that?
Well, you have a similar experience because it's the same number, but I'm just looking for the core. There's always a trigger number in the charts that creates the core wound of heartbreak in this case. So for Belinda, it's the mother, quite clearly from this. It's disempowerment or neglect of some kind or abuse that creates the wound, the heart wound in this case. Okay. We teach all this on the training how to figure that out, but I'm just answering Belinda's question.
No, I was just interested because I didn't know. I saw the numbers twice and I thought, how? Well, just to ask the question, how do you...
They'll both be responsible for creating that. Yeah. Yeah, but we don't have time to go into great depth here, but this is the major cause of it. So sort your mother out, Belinda, and sort out your trauma, and then
Does that mean,
underway.
I mean, I've forgiven my mum for a lot of stuff, and honestly, I've done a lot of work on that. However, I keep her at arm's length. Does that mean I need to let her in close? Because
no. Okay, if she's a narcissist, that would be too dangerous. I've never seen a reformed, healed narcissist. Never seen it happen. So she's dangerous. So no, that's the last thing you should do. But it's about healing with the archetype of Mother God. So your ego chose to separate from Mother God and manifest it in terms of a narcissistic mother. This was the plan. Okay, so you've got to heal your relationship within you with Mother God. So we use things like divine healing, goddess work, woman's work, and I'd say specialist trauma work from the impact, because you're a very sensitive empath, aren't you, Belinda? Looking at this here, so you've got to. So definitely not bring your physical mother in here. You've got to do it internally within you emotionally. Okay, because she'll just re-traumatize you, which is the last thing you need. So I would say it's the unconscious wound to the child you've got to work on. It's not what you consciously aware of. It's what's still buried in your system that you're not having access to the trauma or what happened. And the parents are very formative, so it takes quite a while to work this through. Okay, all right. So it will take time.
How can I access that former wound? I mean, I know what a lot of this stuff is. I know how my body responded and how I responded.
I would, as I said, I would do some specialist trauma therapy. Okay, you see, you've got a very good mind here, Belinda, but your mind will not understand this. You're trying to work it out. You cannot work this out. It's a fundamental subconscious, deeply buried trauma that's suppressed all the memories, a lot of what's gone on to keep you safe, and also the fundamental wound with the mother needs to be worked on at a feeling level. It's not a thought process here. You cannot go and figure this out. Okay, so I would say goddess work, all right, to work on this, and divine healing will be good for you. All right. Look up Celebration of Being. There's in the UK, there's a workshop called The Goddess, and that'll heal the woman who've overcome their wound with their mother. That'll be very good for that. Okay. Trauma therapy like EMDR or somatic experiencing will be good. And also divine healing will be good overall, especially for the wound with the feminine aspect of God.
I am and have been working on working with energetic. I'm an energy healer, so I've been doing a lot of. Does that come in with the goddess
I would
work?
say this is archetypal shamanic work for the goddess work. Okay, trauma therapy is a very specialist form. Normal energy healing won't get to the trauma the way specialist trauma work does. You need very specialist work for what you're trying to achieve here. Okay, and it's quite a different approach. And then also I'd say divine healing as well, which is working on the many layers of the ego which created this whole thing. That'll be the three things I recommend for you. Okay. Hands-on healing won't do it, basically. It just won't do it because you need much more powerful tools than that. You need to dig into the subconscious in a safe way. Okay. And dig into the vagus nerve, all the trauma stored in there, which has got frozen. This is why you haven't overcome it yet. You've made some progress, I'd say, good progress, but you've got to go deeper to get this cleaned out. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. So the remaining sixes here are the creative part of you. This is a convertible knot. Like that. So you're very creative, aren't you, Belinda? But you've got too many ideas running at once, all going off in all these directions.
They say I'm creative, but I don't know in what way, because I can't draw to save my life. I can't sing for toffee. And
well, tell me, you said at the beginning you have tons of ideas and you're trying to get them down to 2 or 3. That's the creativity, you see.
yeah, I got lots of passions, I guess. I enjoy a lot of different things.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean by that. But the key is that there's too many of them running. And so for your business, you've got to get down to 1 or 2 things. Okay. Launch 1 or 2 offerings, one offering first, get it going, then the next one. Once that one's established, then the next one. Otherwise,
I'm working on just one at the moment, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, what happens is that you'll lose your manifestation energy. You won't be able to if you scatter your energy, nothing will establish itself because you've got to get it out in the matrix. Sow the seed of the energy, get it well established out there before you do another one. Okay. But overall, you're here to make peace with your mother internally and to become that unconditionally loving divine feminine aspect of God, to embody it and dissolve the heart wound that you got from her and to take care of others with your work. So you're here to work with, as your heart opens, you're here to work with groups of people. Okay. This is the gift of service. You're here to work, have an open heart to draw lots of like-minded people to you. Okay. For your practice. Could be for teaching as well. So sharing of knowledge here and here. Bring like-minded groups of people together. This will take them into a greater whole. Okay. And do it with unconditional love to become the positive divine feminine energy that was denied you as a kid. That's the mission. And to do it in a very creative, focused way. How's that sound?
Good. Interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm in it.
You get people, and everything you learn on this journey of healing, what we just described, will be the raw material for what you share with others. And they'll come for that as you work it through. So our karmic patterns
Sorry,
are
I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that, please, Nicolas? I didn't hear that completely.
So
your last sentence, I didn't hear.
As we work through our karmic patterns, okay, that is our training for our mission. For your one-on-one sessions, for your teacher training, you as a teacher, you teach from experience. People come to you for the experience of what you've worked through, not just what you've formally trained in. Okay. So they come because they can feel, Belinda's worked this one through. They know subconsciously you have, that's why they're drawn to you. Okay. So it's not that you're wasting time or anything. This is part of your training that's going on right now. And so the more progress you've made in your own journey, the more you can help others. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Hope that helps. Okay. So thank you for
definitely
being the demo there. Okay. So
thank
spirit
you.
will never give you
my
anything.
soul.
What's that?
Thank you for bearing my soul. I was almost in tears.
Yeah.
But it's so spot on. So thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
It's very accurate, the system. So the key is that nothing is insurmountable, even though the ego may say so in your mind, to keep you stuck. Everything can be overcome. It's just a matter of finding the pathway and the will to dissolve the layers of the ego to get there. And that's what we talk about in the training. What are the key recommendations? I gave you some very specific recommendations there on how to overcome it. You just need more powerful tools in your case to get there. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So let's move on with this. So what can this do in your practice? Here's what it can do. As a practitioner here or training facilitator, this will give you the spiritual map of your clients' lives. So you have an immediate and profound understanding of their issues. Like I just explained your life completely, although we have met before in this case. All right. Just from the numbers, I know an enormous amount about you. And this will help you accurately guide your clients throughout all your work with them. Builds trust because they know it's true. And it produces better and faster results. And it helps heal the pain of existence for people when they can heal the issues, and first understanding them is a big relief, as I was saying at the beginning, and also use a pathway to work it through. Okay. So how does the training work? We talked about it briefly in the middle, at the very beginning. You become the work. You sit in the transmission. And so you understand yourself and everyone in your life completely, which is a relief to understand how people already tick, and they can't help themselves. This is just the way they are, but it helps you navigate what's going on more easily. And we'll show you how to prepare and deliver readings. That's what we did in the last 2 days. We give you the transmission of how to put together a reading, hold space, transmit exactly what someone needs to hear in that moment, from that cosmic transmission. It's a profound moment for most people, pretty much everyone, when they receive a reading. We show you how to do that, how to connect with your channel, and we connect you to your soul contract guidance team. We'll help you deliver your readings. And so this summarizes what I said earlier. This is experiential learning. You're completely immersed in this. This is the most powerful learning. You'll never forget this because you become it. It's not about remembering it. It's not about, a lot of people who read the book come, they want to know more about the book. We don't give you more about the book. You become it, which is completely different. Okay, it's far beyond it. All right. And so, and you get to you can look at friends and family, what drives your mother in this case, and it helps us move to a place of compassion, despite the horrors of what can go on in life. Okay, so it's a remembering of how to do it. That's what the training's about. And you sit in a 5th dimensional bubble for 5 days. Okay, high frequency love bubble. But we support you afterwards to go out in the world and deliver this into the real world, to real people, so they can change their lives. And we have ongoing professional development through a Facebook support group. We all the practitioners belong to it. We have a Zoom support program as an optional extra. We also teach you a training called Marketing and Manifesting Your Business. It's another optional extra. We teach you how to move from a 3D business approach, which is 3D business is focused on just making money, really, to a 5D business approach, which is 3D is focusing on return on investment, make money. 5D is businesses are about being service to others rather than service to self, and maximizing return on consciousness. How do I raise consciousness in the world and change it? We teach you that, and it's a follow-on training. How to flow with the energy, how we run this business. So what happens to people? What do they get from this? Well, people get this deep feeling of peace when they receive a reading from you. They hear the truth of their lives, read so profoundly and accurately. It dissolves all the ego defenses because it can't handle the high frequency of truth. And people feel relief that there's actually an order and meaning to all the disparate experiences. Their life is not some big car crash. And it empowers others, especially those who may feel like victims of life, because it's been a real tough one. If you have karmic 9s or karmic 10-1s, for example, to move out of this place and take charge and step forward into living their true purpose. That's a massive thing. They can take charge. They can come into power, and they might have given up till they meet you. It's going to clear my throat again. It's going to do it. So you can show people exactly where they are on their spiritual map of life. Like, you are here. There's an obstacle here, and here's how we can overcome it. Okay, with recommendations. So they can start to manifest the good stuff, their dreams down here. It aligns them to their soul purpose. They go with the flow, what we call this spiritual signature. What is the next right action I'm here to do? And the more people align with it, the more life opens and flows. It touches their inner being immediately and profoundly. I nearly had you crying, didn't you? Didn't I, Belinda? There. So this is how you touch someone's inner being. There's a trusting connection. And you can go very deep in your work with people. And you can open to a deeper level of yourself in connection to others and have compassion for people. Because when people can't help what's going on because they're still selected for the contract, but the main thing is that they've understood what's going on and we can feel compassion for them. All right? Because the contract is hardwired in. So this experiential training, in summary, prepares you for giving readings in the group so you can deliver them with a bit of practice afterwards, okay? Raj, do you want to comment on how that's going? Yeah, for that?
Yeah. I actually haven't been able to do a soul contract reading yet for anyone. I'm going to start with my family this week.
Yeah.
But I can comment on, this level 1 course that we did, and it was very healing. It's like what Nicolas said, when you're giving that soul reading to somebody else, you also heal something quite deep within yourself. That connection is just so, it's nothing like I've experienced before. So yeah, that would be my feedback on giving and receiving soul contract readings.
Yep, thank you for sharing that. So, any questions, people, based upon that? Thanks, Raj. Any questions on what we've just been talking about? Belinda? You have to unmute.
How many times do you run this course a year?
We run it 3 times a year. I'll show you. So the next one runs, the next Western Hemisphere one we're in different time zones actually. Runs the 7th to the 9th, 11th to the 12th of October this year. And it runs from 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. UK time, 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, and all the way to 4:30 a.m. Pacific time. And in Europe, it runs 1:30 p.m. We do this because so people on the West Coast of North America going to get up at a crazy hour. It's pretty early, but I can only teach to 8:30 p.m. So therefore, we start at 12:30. It's an 8-hour day. Okay, so that's the next. Western Hemisphere runs in autumn, and we have one usually in around March. Okay, all right, that's when we run them. There's another one which runs here. We also teach out in Asia as well, in Southeast Asia and in Australasia. So that one runs, the next one runs very provisional. It's very provisional at the moment. Okay, 17th to the 19th and 21st and 23rd of June. That's just me playing with the calendar. That's not finalized yet because I've got to organize all the teachers and stuff. But that runs, the main thing is it starts at 6 a.m. UK when it's at 2 p.m. So in the Middle East, it's like Gulf Standard Time, 9 a.m., India, 10:30 a.m. because we get people from all these areas. Malaysia, Hong Kong starts at 1 o'clock, Japan, 2 o'clock, Australia, most people on the East Coast. It starts at 3 p.m. that time, 5 p.m. in New Zealand. So all these guys can come along then. Ignore these prices at the moment because we're going to change the format of the course from 5 to 6 days next year. So the price will increase a bit. We're doing that because to pace it better for people and leave more room for spiritual questions and philosophy and stuff, which a lot of more people are asking. Okay, so go on.
I've also noticed that there's a level 2 and 3. What's involved with that? When are those courses run?
Yeah.
Are they run concurrently?
Yeah, level 2. See, level 1 basically teaches you how to give a good birth chart reading and to get a good understanding of the difference between the meaning of the 22 numbers. So that's the first level transmission. Excuse me. Level 2 is 4 days, where that runs in end of July. Okay, so the next one for you, if you did one this year, will be July next year, because you have to practice and give readings for a while and get into the energy. That's 4 days, or probably 5 days next year. And that's where we teach you how to understand relationships between people. How do the numbers between two charts interact with each other? It's another level, quantum leap beyond what you learn in level 1. That's the question people ask. They say, okay, I now understand myself. And those close to me, how does the family work? How do my friends work? Okay, so that's what that covers. And we also teach name optimization. How do you get the right name? Talking about that earlier. It will transmute all my karma, help me align to my true path and manifest my true purpose. We teach you how to do that. We teach you how to name babies so they have the best start in life. We teach you the effect of all the different names you've had through life. So it's a very powerful training, very popular training. And then the third level is how do we do business names? How can you optimize the names of your business and your clients' businesses to maximize the attraction of the right ideal, what we call client avatar, ideal client profile? How do we attract the right people with all our website, service names, product names? So basically, we can teach you how to get 60% of the people to open your emails. Normally you get 20, 30% if you're lucky, or less. So we magnetize with multidimensional frequencies, getting the right people to come to your business. That's the third transmission. But also, it takes 3 transmissions for the full energy to be fully embody the work. You can still do good readings from level 1 and 2, but we discovered 3 is the ideal number. It's a magic number in the universe, so that you can actually be fully embodied with the work. But it takes time. You've got to do it gradually. Okay. Raj, you had a question.
Yeah, no, I did. Just talking about the levels. Divine Healing level 1. How many levels are in Divine Healing? So you've got the soul contract, you went through that. When it comes to Divine Healing,
Divine Healing has 5 levels, and Divine Healing is designed. Almira Aruhalea, who co-founded this business with me, is designed to dismantle the ego construct identified in the soul contract through a process of ask and you shall receive. Okay, and basically you align to higher self, and it has a manual which has all the charts, all the different programs of the ego. Well, the majority are mapped out in the manuals for the multiple levels. So the higher self has an order which is to dismantle the ego, and so it's very powerful. It's very clean, taking programs out. So once you understand someone's soul contract, or even without it, it helps having it, but even without it, you can dismantle the ego really rapidly. And the first level is about self-empowerment. Okay, so you realize I can take this work, you learn it, and I can dismantle my ego construct. Okay, rather than being a victim of it. Second level is about embodying the divine. It's about clearing the body of low frequency programs, so the high frequency parts you can embody. Level 3 is about self-love. Okay. Level 4 is about connecting to the divine at a much higher level. Level 5 is very specialist work, really high frequency work, to clear some other major programs like abuse, major relationship issues and things like that. And plus there's lots of other optional high-level trainings of very specialist skills, specialist areas of it. So the whole thing fits together as a complete set of tools.
Are they, how many days are they, Nicolas? Are they all 3 to 4 days each? Do they
Divine
vary?
Healing this year with us will be 4 days, but it's going to go to a 5-day format as well, because we discovered people want more spiritual structure and philosophy, so we're extending it to 5 days. But rather than being an 8-hour day, it'll be a 7-hour day, so it's easier on people's systems, including ours, to teach it, because the frequency keeps getting really higher and higher.
Okay. Right. Okay. And how often do you do level 1? I know you've got one coming up in September, I saw, but I won't be able to attend that. I'm just wondering, do you do it more than once?
We do them level 1 twice a year, spring and autumn, like March and September, October. So the next one for you will be probably March next year. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
But the practitioners find that they have a lot of our guys, they learn soul contracts, they give the readings, they say, here's your reading, here's what your spiritual map of life is about. And then people say, well, how do I clear this stuff? Okay. So then they say, I've learned divine healing, so we can specifically work on the issues, revealed in the soul contract. And divine healing is very powerful, because what it does is it just cleans out the program. You don't even remember it was there; it's just gone, because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And then people realize it's very powerful when their practitioner understands from the soul contract exactly what's going on. So they keep coming back for repeatedly, because they want to keep clearing their programs, because it's so powerful. So it creates a very good repeat business. It's very good. If you have 5 or 6 people doing divine healing, you're quite busy. Okay, they come once a month or something like that.
Yeah. And then you can do self-divine healing as well, I'm assuming, if you do level 1.
You can clear 80% of your own issues yourself with it as a practitioner.
Right.
So it's much more cost effective than going to someone else. Then you have, for some of the core ego programs, you need someone else, someone in the class to clear the stuff for you. But you can make a lot of progress with it. It was my breakthrough when I wanted to overcome my soul contract. I was doing it every day for a couple of years, and I really cleared a lot of stuff. Yeah. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Belinda.
I feel like I'm kind of dominating this, so I'm sorry, everybody. But
it's okay. You ask some good questions. You're a good case study. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't realize that you did the divine healing that you mentioned earlier on. What is the prerequisite in order to train to do that?
That you can feel your feelings, and you have a willingness to look at whatever comes up.
Okay, so you don't have to overcome a whole bunch of things, because I know I read something on your website and I can't remember what it was, but it had to do a whole lot of ego work and all sorts of other stuff.
That was a Lotus Surgeon light body training. And what we were saying on these, you have to have done a reasonable amount of ego clearing to come on the training, otherwise you won't cope, because the frequency is so great on that training. And people were getting attracted to the training as a bright, shiny object. They thought, if I do this, I can solve my problem. So the idea was to polarize out, in marketing terms, push away the people who were not ready for it. That's why it's written that way. So only people who'd done a lot of work would actually apply for it, because it was by invitation only. Okay.
And so you guys do the divine healing. You've got divine healing therapists as well in your business.
Yes, yeah, we the team, they offer divine healing as well.
Okay.
Or you can come on the training yourself. It's up to you, really. So,
okay, cool.
Let me find out when.
Thanks, Chiraj, for asking that question, because otherwise I wouldn't have known that it was a possibility with you guys. Thank you.
Let me find it for you. I'll show you. So, just share the screen. Okay, it's all very well understanding the programs, but you got to go and do something with them. So that's why we have divine healing. So, okay, so centerforconsciousascension.net. If you want the sessions, you can go to here. I'll put these in the description of the video. So you get sessions here, right? And you can have sessions. You can have sessions with Antonia, who's our training coordinator, or Gabriel. He's my son, but he does this full time now. Soul contract readings and light body work and divine healing. They're both very good, very, very good at this. Or you can learn it yourself, which means you can save a lot of money on sessions. Plus, you have a tool to work on others. So the divine healing training itself, it's 4 days, and that is this year anyway. And the next one is the 10th to the 13th of September. Okay. Right. So those two together would give you a very powerful business package, Belinda. Because once people see, this word spreads through word of mouth because it's so powerful. That's how I started this business in the late 90s. There was no internet the way it is now. People would come along and say, Nicolas, I want what my friend had. That was an amazing reading you gave her. Okay. And with divine healing, once people get a hand, they will say to others, you need to go and see Belinda for the divine healing because I made some major shifts. They're very powerful cutting edge tools. And it's been our business philosophy to basically find or develop the best tools on earth to awaken. Okay. So you can wake up and
I can say I tried a lot of things. But divine healing is really, really big time. I did the first one. I'm doing the second one with you. I enrolled too. But really, it's really incredible what it does. So I find it interesting to have a business and to do it. But what I find interesting too is when you feel blocked, you really consistently work on everything you feel with divine healing. And it's really, really strange what's happening the next day or the next week in the area you're blocked. People are different. Experiences are different.
Yeah, it's just gone. Really... The program's just gone, isn't it? That layer's just disappeared. Yeah, it's like it was never there.
So the person that was triggering you is just different, or
yeah,
you know,
well,
it's really.
Yeah, it's like it never happened. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're in different reality, and oh, there was another side.
Yeah.
So I really would recommend it because it was really huge for me to do the training, but also to receive those healings. Yeah, I've done a lot of things, really a lot, and this one is really a little pearl.
Well, what happened was our mirror and I both had karmic 9s, and we were looking for a really powerful tool to clear it because we knew we were seriously, trapped in this program, and it really messed us up emotionally. So she developed it, she channeled it in the end because the other tool she found, the teachers weren't prepared to teach her to teach, so she channeled it with a couple of friends. And this is how divine healing came about in 2006, and that was the beginning for both of us of really clearing our stuff to do what we do today. I couldn't be running a global teaching business without having cleared a lot of my stuff, and this was the tool. I was doing it religiously pretty much every day for 2 years when I first got it. I just cleared so much stuff. And it was amazing. It was like, it's incredible, this thing, what we can do with it. Yeah. Very simple in the end. Align to the higher self, ask and you shall receive. And you do. So even though the programs may feel like they've trapped you, all programs can be dismantled despite what they say to you in your head. It takes time and drive and will. Okay, it's not for the faint-hearted. Sometimes you got to look at some dark stuff, but if you're prepared to do that, you can overcome anything in the end. From my experience, I still think sometimes, I'm never going to overcome that program, and I overcame another one in the past couple of weeks. It's like, oh, it's gone. It's like it was never there. I can go and enjoy another part of life I thought I'd never get involved in. So that's how powerful the ego is. And I've been doing this for 30 odd years. So it gives you a means with love to transmute really some heavy stuff in the soul contract, really heavy stuff. I mean, it's not the only tool, divine healing, but you've got to bring other things like trauma therapy and shamanic goddess or god work, men's work, and all sorts of other things. But it's going to get you a long way. Get you a long way. All right.
Thank you.
So hope that helped. So if you guys are interested in the let's have a look here. If you're interested in the training, back to what we were talking about here, go to soulcontractreadingtraining.com and you'll see the website page here. Show it to you. Okay. Let's get to it. It's a divine healing training. So if you want to go to this one, you go to thedivinehealingtraining.com. We'll get you to this page. Okay. All right. These links will be in the description of the video. And the soul contract reading training is this one here. Okay. We'll get there eventually. So this gives you an in-depth hopefully answers most of any other questions you may have. Okay, and you can find out about the advanced trainings here. Soul contract 2 and 3, they're there. So this basically.
Are you okay, Belinda? You had one idea, now you have two. Is it okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to confuse them now completely.
Always happening, Belinda. All right.
Yeah. So this is about all the different aspects of the training. You can see testimonials, and you can there's frequently asked questions somewhere here. Where is it gone? Yeah, frequently asked questions are here if you want to find out more. If you want to go into more depth on the training, you can have a free 15-minute call with Antonia, our training coordinator. Okay, so you can hear how others found it as well. Okay. All right. So anything else, people? We're done today. Okay. All right. Thank you for complete engagement, ladies. And yeah, hope to see some of you guys on the training. Thanks, Raj, for sharing your experience. Hope that helped you give some ideas for marketing your soul contract reading sessions.
Yeah, it did. It was a really good refresher, and I enjoyed it just as much as when I did the level 1 training. So I'm glad I joined.
Yeah. So you just adjust the format for what you're trying to share with people, and it works.
Yeah.
So okay. So there's a little bit of what is it? Give a demo of it. Okay, and then explain the benefits. You see, I mean, because people want to know how do you relieve. They want to understand what their pain points are, how to relieve them, how do you help them achieve their desire. Pain points are the karma. How do you help people reach their desire in life, which is their true purpose, which is soul destiny? You satisfy those, and you'll have people come in for readings. Okay. Okay. All right, people. Thank you. We'll leave you now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda, bearing your soul. You'll get there.
Bye.
See you later.
Thanks
Bye.
to everybody who contributed. Thank you.
You did great.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. See you.